I have a question about brain anatomy. What is the network of nerve fibers connecting the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the brain called?
Let's go through the options together. What's the first one?
The first option is arcuate fasciculus. Is this the network connecting the two hemispheres?
No, the arcuate fasciculus is a bundle of nerve fibers that connects Broca's area and Wernicke's area in the brain, which are involved in language processing. It doesn't connect the two hemispheres.
Got it. The next option is medulla oblongata. Could this be the correct term?
No, the medulla oblongata is part of the brainstem and controls vital functions like breathing and heart rate. It doesn't connect the left and right hemispheres of the brain.
Okay, what about corpus callosum? Is this the network we're looking for?
Yes, the corpus callosum is the correct answer. It's a thick band of nerve fibers that connects the left and right hemispheres of the brain, allowing them to communicate with each other.
That makes sense. The last option is cerebral cortex. What about this one?
The cerebral cortex is the outer layer of the brain involved in many higher brain functions like thought, perception, and memory. It doesn't specifically refer to the connection between the two hemispheres.
So, the correct answer is corpus callosum. It's the network connecting the left and right hemispheres.
Exactly. The corpus callosum is the right term.
I have a question about palindromes. Which of the following is not a palindrome?
Let's look at the options. What's the first one?
The first option is 0. Is this a palindrome?
Yes, 0 is a palindrome. A palindrome reads the same forward and backward, and 0 definitely fits that definition.
Got it. The next option is 1. Is this also a palindrome?
Yes, 1 is also a palindrome. Like 0, it reads the same both ways.
Okay, what about E? Is this a palindrome?
Yes, E is a palindrome. Any single character reads the same forward and backward, so E fits the criteria.
That makes sense. The last option is 01. Is this a palindrome?
No, 01 is not a palindrome. When you read it backward, you get 10, which is different from 01.
So, the correct answer is 01. It's the only one that is not a palindrome.
I have a question about language planning. What is the process called where a systematic statement of the rules and conventions governing the use of a language variety is compiled?
Let's go through the options. What's the first one?
The first option is corpus planning. Is this the right term?
No, corpus planning involves developing and organizing the actual language resources, like creating dictionaries and grammar guides. But it's broader than just compiling rules and conventions.
Got it. The next option is codification. Could this be the correct term?
Yes, codification is the correct term. It specifically refers to the process of compiling a systematic statement of the rules and conventions of a language. This includes creating grammars, dictionaries, and standardizing spelling and usage.
That makes sense. The next option is code mixing. What about this one?
Code mixing is when speakers mix elements from different languages or dialects within a conversation or sentence. It's not related to compiling rules and conventions of a language.
Okay, so that's not it. The last option is status planning. Is this the right term?
No, status planning refers to efforts to change the function or status of a language within a society, like making a minority language an official language. It's not about compiling language rules.
So, the correct answer is codification. It's the process of compiling a systematic statement of the rules and conventions of a language variety.
Exactly. Codification is the right term.
I have a question about dictionaries. What do you call the lexical item that is described in a dictionary with lexicographic information?
Let's go through the options. What's the first one?
The first option is head word. Is this the correct term?
Yes, head word is the correct term. In a dictionary, the head word is the main word being defined or described. It's typically listed at the beginning of an entry.
Got it. The next option is entry word. Could this be the correct term?
No, entry word is a less common term and not typically used in lexicography. The standard term is head word.
Okay, what about lexis? Is this the right term?
No, lexis refers to the total vocabulary or lexicon of a language, not a specific word listed in a dictionary.
That makes sense. The last option is main word. Is this the correct term?
No, main word is not a standard term in lexicography. The correct term for the word being described in a dictionary is head word.
So, the correct answer is head word. It's the lexical item described in a dictionary.
Exactly. Head word is the right term.
I have a question about phonological constraints. In many languages, onsets like *pb or *lp are likely to be unacceptable. What field studies these constraints?
Let's go through the options together. What's the first one?
The first option is suprasegmentals. Is this the correct field?
No, suprasegmentals refer to features such as intonation, stress, and tone that go beyond individual phonemes. They don't specifically address the acceptability of certain onsets.
Got it. The next option is phonotactics. Could this be the correct field?
Yes, phonotactics is the correct field. Phonotactics is the study of the rules governing the possible phoneme sequences in a language, including which onsets are acceptable or not.
That makes sense. The next option is co-articulation. What about this one?
Co-articulation refers to the phenomenon where the articulation of one sound is influenced by the articulation of neighboring sounds. It's not directly related to the constraints on permissible onsets.
Okay, so that's not it. The last option is assimilation. Is this the correct field?
No, assimilation is a process where a sound becomes more like a neighboring sound. While it's a phonological process, it doesn't specifically deal with the constraints on onsets like *pb or *lp.
So, the correct answer is phonotactics. It's the field that studies these phonological constraints.
Exactly. Phonotactics is the right field.
I have a question about matching terms related to sound properties. Can you help me match these correctly?
Let's look at the options. What's the first match?
The first match is a pitch to a melody. Is this correct?
No, pitch is related to 3. Frequency. Pitch is determined by the frequency of the sound waves.
Got it. What about B loudness to 2? Quality?
That's incorrect. Loudness is related to IV. Amplitude. Loudness is determined by the amplitude of the sound waves.
Okay, what about C timbre to 3? Frequency?
No, timbre, also spelled timbre, is related to 2. Quality. Timbre refers to the quality or color of the sound, which makes different sounds distinct even if they have the same pitch and loudness.
So, D tone to IV. Amplitude is also incorrect.
Yes, tone should be matched with I melody. Tone refers to the pitch and quality of a sound, which contributes to the melody and music.
So, the correct matches are 1. A pitch with 3. Frequency 2. B loudness with IV. Amplitude 3. C timbre with 2. Quality 4. D tone with I melody.
I have a question about matching terms related to language categories. Can you help me figure out the correct matches?
Let's look at the options. What's the first pair?
The first pair is a taboo with 2 highly encoded word sets for special group. Is this correct?
No, that's incorrect. Taboo words are actually 3. Forbidden term words. Taboo terms are words that are generally avoided because they are considered offensive or inappropriate in certain contexts.
Got it. So, the correct match for a taboo is 3 forbidden term words. What about B argot?
Argot should be matched with 2 highly encoded word sets for special group. Argot refers to the jargon or slang used by a particular group, often to exclude outsiders.
Okay, that makes sense. The next one is C slang with IV. Derogatory words and phrases. Is this correct?
No, slang typically refers to informal, non-standard words or expressions that are used within particular social groups, not necessarily derogatory. In this context, it's best matched with idomain-based lexical stock.
So, the correct match for C slang is idomain-based lexical stock. What about D cant?
Cant is a term that refers to the secret language or jargon used by a particular group, often with the intention of being confusing or deceptive to outsiders. So, it should be matched with IV. Derogatory words and phrases, which fits well considering its use in certain subcultures.
So, the correct matches are 1. A taboo with 3. Forbidden term words, 2. B argot with 2. Highly encoded word sets for special group, 3. C slang with I domain-based lexical stock, 4. D cant with IV. Derogatory words and phrases.
I have a question about matching influential figures with their theories. Can you help me with this?
Let's look at the options. What's the first pair?
The first pair is A Ferdinand de Saussure with 2. Game theory. Is this correct?
No, that's incorrect. Ferdinand de Saussure is best known for 3. Structuralism. He's considered one of the founding figures of structural linguistics.
Got it. So, A Ferdinand de Saussure should be matched with 3. Structuralism. What about B Ludwig Wittgenstein?
Ludwig Wittgenstein is associated with 2. Game theory. He introduced the concept of language games, which is a part of his later philosophy of language.
That makes sense. The next one is C.J.L. Austin with I minimalism. Is this correct?
No, J.L. Austin should be matched with IV. Speech act theory. Austin developed the theory of speech acts, which explores how utterances function in communication.
So, the correct match for C.J.L. Austin is IV. Speech act theory. What about D. Noam Chomsky?
Noam Chomsky is associated with I minimalism. He developed the minimalist program in syntactic theory, which aims to explain the properties of natural languages with a minimal set of theoretical assumptions.
So, the correct matches are 1. A Ferdinand de Saussure with 3. Structuralism, 2. B Ludwig Wittgenstein with 2. Game theory, 3. C.J.L. Austin with IV. Speech act theory, 4. D. Noam Chomsky with I minimalism.
I have a question about matching translation theories with their respective scholars. Can you help me figure out the correct matches?
Let's go through the options. What's the first pair?
The first pair is a memes of translation with 3. A Chesterman. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct. Memes of Translation was written by Andrew Chesterman. He explores the concept of memes in the context of translation theory.
Sure thing. The main objective is the grand quest. That is, to explore the relationship between the use of modern teaching techniques and the student performance. So that's the main objective, the grand quest, to explore the relationship between the use of modern teaching techniques and the performance of the students after having applied those modern teaching techniques on the students. So it's like a grand quest overall. That's main objective. That's the main objective.
No, that's incorrect. Scopo theory of translation is actually associated with IV. H.J. Vermeer. Vermeer introduced the Scopo theory, which focuses on the purpose of a translation.
So, B Scopo theory of translation should be matched with IV. H.J. Vermeer. What about C the theory and practice of translation with 2. P. Newmark?
No, the theory and practice of translation was written by Eugene Nida, so it should be matched with I. Nida.
So, C the theory and practice of translation should be matched with I. Nida. And what about D approaches to translation?
Approaches to translation was written by Peter Newmark, so it should be matched with 2. P. Newmark.
So, the correct matches are 1. A memes of translation with 3. A Chesterman, 2. B Scopo theory of translation with IV. H.J. Vermeer, 3. C the theory and practice of translation with I. Nida, 4. D approaches to translation with 2. P. Newmark,